Hey y'all, welcome back to another vlog. So it's January 1st. Happy New Year. We're on our way to the airport to drop our car off. Well, not our personal vehicle, but one of our rental vehicles, because we have two cars right now available for rent, either on Toro or private rental with us on evesrental.com. But we're dropping off the sedan that we have, which is the Nissan Sentra. We're dropping it off at the Bush Intercontinental Airport for a little airport delivery for our renter that's picking up the car tomorrow. So anyways, I'm not sure if y'all have been seeing it on my story, but I have been posting that we started a car rental service, again, private or through the app Toro. If you want to book a car, if you're visiting the Houston area, or if you already live in the Houston area and you need a car for a few days or a week or whatever, go to evesrental.com, or you can go on Toro and you can find us on there. But anyways, we have two options, a sedan and an SUV. But yeah, before we go though, we're gonna stop and get donuts because our toddler is hungry and he hasn't had breakfast yet this morning. So instead of just waiting until we got back, we're just gonna stop and get a little donut for him and for me. Just kidding, they were closed. I didn't know that they would be closed on New Year's Day. But now we're at Tim Hortons, the one across the street from the airport. We're at the gas station. This is a car right here. Mark is in it. Oh, right there. He's just putting gas in it before we drop it off. But yeah, he ran inside to get me a donut. I actually really like Tim Hortons. They have really good sausage, egg, and cheese croissants, and the donuts are good, and the coffee is really good. I would say it's better than Starbucks. If I had one nearby me, I would go there over Starbucks because they're really good, and I wish that there was more of them around here. I think it's like a Canadian based company though. But how are we feeling for the new year, y'all? I'm so excited. Last night we actually stayed up to bring the new year in because the last 2 years we fell asleep. Last year we fell asleep at 11, and then now this year we were up. They don't have any donuts?
Let's get something after or later. You can find a surplus. Small drink.
No. You don't want a donut?
Huh?
You don't want one? Or you don't want a sandwich? Okay.
There's a long line, and they're only like taking one person at a time.
Okay.
We're going to be going inside of the airport parking lot, or the parking spot, just to make it more, I guess, seamless. But that's going to go to the checkout part anyway.
Okay.
And then that's it.
And you want me to loop back around?
And just loop back around, and we'll do the video then.
Okay. Never mind, we're not getting Tim Hortons either because the line is too long and they don't have what I wanted. So Mark was just telling me what he wants me to do because he's making a pickup and drop off video for our renters. He's going to send it to them so that we can hopefully make the process a little bit more seamless for everybody, to show you how to pick up the car, get the key out the lockbox, and also how to exit because you don't have to pay to exit. So we're gonna film a little tutorial video on what to do when you get the car and also to drop off the car. Alright y'all, so we got the clips that we needed for the tutorial video, and Malachi was getting fussy, so I'm glad that I packed this extra bottle with me because I almost didn't bring it. I don't have on a nursing bra right now, so it would have been really hard for me to try to feed him out here without it on. I should have wore one today, but I need to get a couple more. But yeah, anyways, thank y'all for tagging along. Alright, y'all, so I made it back home, and this is the book that I'm starting the year off with, The Coldest Winter Ever. This used to be a book that I loved so much. This is now my third time reading it. It was actually the book that got me into reading back when I was reading like 3 and 4 books out of the month, which I'm trying to get back there slowly but surely. But anyways, I just want to talk about how Winter is a hot mess, and I cannot believe she was doing the stuff that she was doing all before the age of 18. I don't know how I missed this the first time that I read it, and even the second time that I read it, but now my whole perspective is so much different, and it's just so wild to me. Like, I'm kind of like not really enjoying it that much. I think it's really cringy, actually. Does anybody else feel that way about this book? Anyways, one of my goals for the new year is to read more, and I'm going to try my best to read at least one book out of the month, and I'm going to use my videos to help like hold me accountable with that. So for January, it's The Coldest Winter. I feel like it was fitting because it is the middle of winter, and I don't know what I'm going to read next month yet, but we'll see. Now, the time that I'm recording this, it is New Year's Eve, so I'm getting ready to make some black-eyed peas. It's a traditional Southern dish to make for the new year. It's supposed to kind of signify like luck and good fortune. So I wanted to make this. I decided to make it last minute, so I am going to be using some canned black-eyed peas, but you're just going to rinse and drain them. Normally, I think that this dish would come out a lot better in a crock pot if you were to make it, but I didn't get the dry beans. Like I said, I just got the canned ones because I needed it to be done quickly, and it was already like mid-afternoon, so I didn't have time to have beans on the stove for hours and hours. But it still came out really good, and it's honestly a hack. I might just be making it like this all the time now, unless I specifically want to make a crock pot meal. But all you need is some smoked sausages, you need some celery, onion, and some bell peppers, and you also need a bay leaf and some chicken broth, and of course your black-eyed peas. I'm going to be cutting the andouille sausage up like this, like kind of in halves, I guess, or in quarters. I don't know, but y'all see me splitting it in half, right? I only did this because my toddler is going to eat the black-eyed peas. He eats everything that we eat, so sometimes I have to cut things in a certain way to make it less of a choking hazard for him. So I'm just cutting them in half after I slice the sausages, and you're going to brown them first. It's kind of very similar to making red beans and rice, if you've ever made that. It's very similar to that, but I'm just going to be making it on the stove today. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pot, and I'm just going to brown the sausages until they get like a nice little crisp to it. Not too much though, because they are going to be cooking for about 45 minutes to an hour or so, depending on how thick you like your beans. So I'm not going to brown them too much, just to get a little bit of like a little golden crisp. And while that's cooking on the stove, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my celery. I use 2 stalks of celery, 2 bell peppers, 1 whole onion, and like I said, 1 bay leaf. All of this made enough beans. I would say maybe like 6 or 7 servings, because we did have leftovers the next day. So yeah, and I did serve it with some rice and some cabbage, and Mark grilled some pork steaks, and then we also had it with some cornbread. So while that's browning on the stove, we're just gonna kind of multitask here. I'm just gonna chop up my celery, my onion, my bell peppers, and I want y'all to kind of pay attention to how small I'm chopping up these bell peppers. I'm doing it very, very small just because I don't know, I don't want them to be like the same size or chunkier than the beans, if that makes any sense, because I want this to cook down like really, really well. You'll see what I'm talking about. But I think for a dish like this, and also red beans and rice, you want to chop up your onions, your celery, your bell peppers up kind of small. I just think that it makes for a better eating experience, but that's just my opinion. But this is what the sausages look like once they're browned. You see how they're not too brown, but just perfect enough. You're going to leave all that good flavor in the pot, add some butter to it, and then you're just going to go ahead and saute all of your veggies. Now, whenever you're sauteing your veggies, you just want to make sure not to cook them down too much if you like to have a little bit of a bite. Because remember, this is gonna kind of boil on the stove with some chicken broth. So I'm just going to saute these veggies for about a minute or two, and then I'm gonna add in about 2 cloves of garlic afterwards. The reason why I did that is because I don't want the garlic to burn, to cook down too much. So I like to add my garlic in after I saute most of the veggies. For the seasoning, I just use some Creole seasoning, smoked paprika, some thyme, garlic powder, onion powder, you know, the regular stuff that you normally always use. I also added like 2 dashes of cumin to it, or cumin. Make sure you do not overgo or overload the cumin in your dish, because cumin is very, very strong and powerful. So you want to make sure you add just a little bit of that, if any at all. It's good without it too. Now I'm just going to rinse and drain my beans, add those to the pot, and I'm going to add in about 3 cups or so of chicken broth. But you really just want to add in enough to cover the pot. If you're using more beans than I am or less, just enough chicken broth to cover it, just like this. And then I'm just going to add in my bay leaf. Since this one was large, I just added 1. And I put the pot on for like the first 20 minutes or so. But I do want that sauce to get pretty thick. So I'm going to take the pot off. I'm going to take the lid off and let it finish cooking just until it gets to my desired level of thickness. And I also want to show y'all my cabbage right here on the side. But yeah, you see here, we're halfway done cooking and it's almost ready, but I would like for it to be just a tiny, tiny bit thicker. So I'm going to let that continue to boil or cook without the lid on. Here is the final result, y'all. I hope that y'all try this out and I hope that you enjoy this meal.